Station Banter with Tony Smith. Riser
friends, and we're back in the studio, today with a special guest and a good friend of mine, Diane Jessie Miller. Diane.
Hello,
Diane
lovely.
Jessie, thanks for coming in. Hello everybody. And we're wearing our we're showing our support for the campaign for Shanice Smith. So we're wearing our Shanice bands today.
I'm sending love to you.
Sending love and hugs and all that there out to the Smiths. It's warm in here today, isn't it?
It is warm.
It is. That's good enough for me. There it goes.
Yeah.
Look at that for a shot. Wow. So with good crack earlier on, we've been talking earlier on, we were talking about fracking and filming and all sorts of things. And then we come in here and we met our man Rowan.
Yes, lovely Rowan.
And with good laughs with Rowan, so Riser Rowan. But anyway, let's get on with the show. So how are you? Good to see you. You're looking well.
I'm good. It's been a while. We were saying this earlier that the last time I was in was March, wasn't it?
It was March,
just kind of the middle of March, just before the One by One premiere, and I can't believe how quickly
How did the premiere go, I meant to say?
The premiere was amazing. It was such an awesome night. I can't even put it into words. It was just one of those real events that will never be able to be repeated, because it's one thing to go and see a film, but it's another thing to have live music from the film that was in the film. So we screened the film at I think it was 8 o'clock it aired, and it was at the Newcastle Community Cinema, and I take my hat off to them. Those boys know how to put on a show, and they're amazing. So the film started at 8 and was finished by about quarter to 10. And then at 10 o'clock we had live music from Tommy Sands and Donald Scullion, Tom Newman and Split Lips, all of which have got songs in the film. So it was just, I think I sat there at one moment, and the way that I really wanted it to be, I wanted it not just to be an artist go up and do their song and then come off. I wanted it to be an artist did their song or some of their songs and then did a song with the next person going on. So it was like a changeover, like a baton passing thing. So Tommy Sands, he was one of the first people I met when I came over here the first time, and I've got a very special place in my heart for the Sands family. He is the best storyteller musician I've ever met.
Ever?
I can literally sit there and I don't move. I'm so drawn in by him, and most people know who Tommy Sands is, so they...
Riser Tommy.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the Sands family, big family, they're all good.
Absolutely.
Fabulous family.
And then Tom Newman went up, and you've had Tom on the show. Tom is a character.
Tom's class. Riser Tom. Big shout out to Tom Newman there.
He's definitely a character. And then Donald Scullion, who you've not met, to me, and I don't think I'm the only one that believes this, that he is probably the most talented musician I've ever met.
There you go.
And other people have met. He just oozes talent effortlessly, and he's really nice about it. He's really nice and cool and good to hang out with and stuff like that. But he did, and his voice is just...
He's an amazing character, musician, singer.
Just
fabulous.
Amazing. And I think that was one of my favourite moments of the whole night. Regardless of the film, because obviously I love the film that I made with the amazing people that I made it with, but the moment where Tom and Donald did a song together, the whole room it was like the whole room became electric. It was just amazing. And then me and the boys got up and did I got to sing with Donald. I was so chuffed that I was like, oh, I got to sing with him. He's amazing. A legend. It's like singing with a rock star. It was amazing. And then the boys and I did our set, and then it was just... I think I was up till 5 o'clock in the morning. I was so wired, just talking when we got back home.
So it was like the big rap party for
it was, and
for the film.
For me, what was I'm getting a bit emotional about it. What was amazing is that my co-producer and my director of photography flew in from London for it, and my best friend Spencer flew in as well. He's massive kind of anti-fracker against the whole kind of bring down the system.
Oh, good man, Spencer.
He's a good man. And my sister and her husband came over as well. So for me, that was amazing. It wasn't just having the support here, but having support come over from England as well. And I honestly believe, out of all the friends I have made in the short time that I've been here, there were only 3 people that I cared deeply about that didn't make it that night. And so that for me was amazing, to have everyone that I cared, almost everyone I cared about from this country, being there with me in that moment and sharing it with me, because there's no point making something like that if you're not going to share it with everybody. And again, going back to the Newcastle Community Cinema, they know how to put on cinema events. It's not just going to the cinema anymore, it's cinema events, and I think that is the way forward for film.
It's just not going to, as you say, it's not just going to the cinema, it's an event.
Well, you can go to the Omniplex and watch anything. If you're going to see independent film, you now have to make them events, whether that be the location that you have the film screened in, or something a bit special like having music afterwards, or anything like that. It's got to be something that is a bit different, I think, and a once in a lifetime, because anybody that was in that room with me that night, no one else will ever experience that again. And that's what, to me, that's the magic of cinema. So,
I mean, I had the guys from the Newcastle Community Cinema in here, and they're great. And as you say, they put on a great show for you.
And not just the work that they do in the community for other shows and things like that is just amazing.
And their heart and their commitment's there, isn't it?
Yeah, they do it for love. And that's the word amateur gets bandied around a lot, and that's kind of meant to be. It's brought on a lot of negative kind of, people think, oh, it's an amateur, but amateur actually means for the love of it. So I would like to take that word back, the amateur word, and go, yes, I do it for the love of it. And I think that so many other people do, and you just can't beat that. And I think once you work with people that aren't in it for the money, I mean, if anyone's in this business for the money, they're in it for the wrong reason. It's the passion, and passion is so infectious. It's so infectious, and that vibe and that energy is amazing. So
because it takes you, when you get so passionate about something, it takes you to new levels in your own head that you've never been to.
Absolutely. Well, I think One by One would never have been made if it wasn't for me seeing the passion in other people. Like, I wrote that. Spencer, my best friend, and I came up with the idea together after a few bottles of vodka and some sambuca, and I kind of ran with it. And it wasn't until I think I said this before, my 30th birthday, and a wonderful friend of mine, Matt Charles, said, I'm not giving you anything for your birthday, but I'm going to come and shoot your film for you. I'll be your camera op. And he just finished doing a stint at the BBC, and he now travels over the world being the camera op. And it was seeing his passion, and then me going, okay. It kind of put a little fire in my belly, and then meeting other people that were passionate about it, that without their passion, the film would never be made.
That's amazing.
I would still be a teacher in England.
That's amazing, isn't it?
So it's not just a one, it's everywhere.
It's nice the way it all fell together for you, isn't it? It's nice the way it just combined for you. And as you say, you got a BBC cameraman and everything. Do you know how hard it is to get the cameraman?
It is, and I think they say a lot of this industry is luck. And I do believe I've been very lucky when it comes to my career. And it's just, I get so humbled by it sometimes that these people would not just want to be part of something that I created, but to do it for free. Everybody worked for free on the film.
That's unbelievable.
So to have people that just want to do it is amazing in itself, and kind of, it's not just a passion for the project itself, but it's been a platform for so many other people, so many people that had never really done film before that wanted to kind of have now do it for a living. Like myself, I never dreamed, well, I did dream that I would be able to make film and survive and make a living, and thank God, that's what I'm doing. I'm here and I'm working in media, doing a job that I love with an amazing company, B&L Productions.
B&L Productions, I put it down.
And I just, some days, it's going to sound really silly, some days I think that maybe I've died and gone to heaven and this is it for me. That's
just because you're in the Banter show. Razor friend, check that one out. B&L Productions, come up into the Banter show sometime and give me all your latest agenda.
I'd love to.
Yeah, that'd be good. And so, friends, anybody who's been on the Banter show previously, you're all welcome back in, and I want new guests. I want to, come in for the banter. So that's basically that, isn't it? Getting back to your film, One by One, you were very lucky insofar as getting Rick Mail, the late great Rick Mail, was in this lady's film.
Yeah, his last British film he ever made.
The last film he was ever in.
The British film. He's
British film.
done a Dutch film that's not released yet, but it's the last British feature he's done. Yeah.
He was an amazing character, wasn't he?
Yeah, I still struggle to talk about it a little bit because I feel like I've lost. Well, I've lost a friend.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, you did lose a friend. I mean, you
yeah.
got. He read the script. You sent him the script. He read it, and you were telling me he gets so many scripts per day, but this script he liked, and he
really
agreed to do the
liked it.
film. So there you go.
You know, for me, that was an amazing compliment. I mean, since Rick died, there's been a couple of things that people have kind of said about the film and that are not true. Like, I knew Rick beforehand, and he was a friend of a friend. No one in the crew knew Rick before. And to have somebody that I had watched growing up like something that I had written and want to do it is something that no one can ever take away from me.
Not a chance.
And I'm very, I think when I got the phone call, my heart broke. My heart broke.
I'm sure it did, yeah.
So, and
I sent you a message, by the way. I don't know where you got it. I'm sure loads of people sent you messages, you know. But anyway, moving on swiftly.
Yes.
Well, Rick, we love you and all that
Yeah.
there. You know, he really was class, absolute star in everything
big
he done.
heart,
You know,
big heart as well.
big guy, wasn't he?
Yeah,
Really big
amazing.
man. So, moving on swiftly, as we say.
Yeah.
Let's have a rant about fracking.
Yes, let's have a rant about fracking.
And before we start, I want any of my friends in America that have any experience of fracking in your area. And in America, Matthew T. Metzler, Corrine Cohen, get back to me. Somebody get back to me on Twitter. And just let me know if you have any experiences of fracking in your area. And not just America, in England or anywhere. So let's start our fracking banter.
Yeah, it's the first question that people think, well, not everybody, but a large percentage of people think when you hear the word fracking is, I don't know what fracking is. So many times I've come across people that have gone, I don't know what it is. And I think that people think a bit like, I said this to you earlier, a bit like voting for a politician. When you vote for a politician, you vote for somebody that you believe in the things that they say, but it's not actually going to affect your daily life. And I think people have a similar view with fracking, that it's not going to affect their daily life, so why should they bother about it? But it is going to affect their daily life. It's not just going to affect their daily life, it's going to affect any younger generations that come up, be it their kids if they have them, or nieces and nephews if they have them, or friends, godchildren, anything like that. It is going to affect everyone. It's going to destroy this planet.
From within.
From within.
From within the planet.
I think anyone that watches anything on fracking, it just screams, no, this is not a good idea. And I could explain it, but I'm not a scientist. I'm not an expert on it at all. I've only got a very basic information on it, but I think the basic information does it all. I mean, it's called fracturing. They fracture the earth. So they put a drill down. I can't remember how far down they go. I was trying to remember all the facts earlier.
Yeah.
They drill down into under the ground, quite a way down, where there are pockets of natural gas. So it's another fossil fuel. So they drill down and then across into the pockets. And then what they need to do is fracture the earth. Now, the only way they can fracture the earth is to pump down, I think it's 2 million gallons, I think that's right, I could be wrong, 2 million gallons of water into the ground, which fractures the earth and releases the gas. What else is in that water is sand and over 700 chemicals. Because what that does is when it goes down and it fractures, the sand keeps a gap. So if they fracture the earth like that, the sand keeps the gap open, and then obviously the water can run through it, and the gas is released. Now, the water is left in there. So the gas, obviously we know gas rises out of water, so the gas rises out of the water and they turn it into some kind of energy. And the water stays in the ground, but what happens is the water seeps into surface water and other pockets of fresh water, because it has to be fresh water that's used. And that chemical compound in the water is toxic. It is poisonous. People in America and Australia and anywhere that has done this will tell you that they're being told that their water is safe, but they can turn on the tap and set fire to it. I don't know about you, but I don't want to drink water I can set fire to.
No, I don't think
I'm pretty sure that's going to kill me.
I wouldn't fancy a cup of tea or coffee made out of that.
No, it's not like doing Sambuca. You can expect to like Sambuca, but not the fresh water. There's actually, that's the basics that I can explain it in. There is a little video on YouTube which is under 5 minutes, and it's a very objective point of view. Now, I'm very aware that I'm anti-fracking, so, and you tend to find that people that are anti anything try and force it down people's throats, and I don't want to do that. That's never been my intention with anything like this. It's always been, I want people to have a look for themselves. So I've written it down because I forget.
Yeah.
So there's a little video on YouTube, and it's called Fracking Explained, opportunity or danger. You can find that on YouTube. It's a 5-minute animation, and it just explains it. Explains why they want to frack. We all know that we're running out of energies, we're running out of fossil fuels and coal and all that sort of thing. So there is going to be a need for other energy sources, and this is the best money-making way of getting more fossil fuels, which is natural gases. So that's why the companies are doing it.
And I wonder, does it actually work? There's not much to say that it works. There's no, you know.
But this is one of the biggest things, that they don't actually know what the ramifications, what impact it's going to have on the planet, on the amount of gas that's usable, and things like that. They just don't. There's too many variables. There's too many things that are uncertain. That, I mean, I wouldn't want to do it just because it might work.
Now, there's so many knock-on points to this fracking. It's just unbelievable. I don't know where to start or where it finishes. The weather we got there a couple of years ago, the extreme cold weather, that was allegedly due to fracking because it knocked the Earth off its axis.
I didn't know that.
It took us away from the jet stream where we normally get our good weather or warm weather, and it's just unbelievable. So there's so many things, you know.
You do something to this Earth, there's got to be a knock-on effect. You know what I mean? It's.
Well, the amount of earthquakes alone.
Well, that's one of the things. They did some fracking in Blackpool. I can't remember how long ago it was now. And one of the things that happened almost directly afterwards was earthquakes. People can't sell their houses there now because of fear of earthquakes in Blackpool. It's just. I think the biggest issue that I have with fracking is I'd be a hypocrite if I said I didn't need energy to work. I work in media, so I need access to film and equipment and energy and things like that. I would be a hypocrite if I said I didn't. But there's got to be another way. There are other ways of making energy. Renewable energies. I know we've all talked about wind turbines and solar panels and things like that. Why not? Would they need more kind of exploration and more kind of ways? Like, why has not every rooftop? I know we don't get a load of sun here, but why has not every rooftop in this country got solar panels on? They're not ugly to look at. They're easy to put up. They're not a bother at all. They don't affect anybody, unlike wind turbines, which affect nature and things like that. We need to be moving into a more renewable energies with fossil fuels as a backup than using fossil fuels and having renewables as a backup. It needs to be, we need to do something, and the problem is the energy companies, in my opinion, won't do that because there's no money to be made in it. There's no money, and that is the scary truth. It's about money.
Yeah.
That's what it boils down to. I mean, David Cameron coming out a couple of months ago saying he was for fracking. I've never wanted to punch the guy more in my life, and I wanted to punch him before, so now I really want to punch him.
Look out, Cameron, you're getting that.
Yeah, God forbid you come into the same room as me.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah.
David Cameron, you're welcome in the Banter show, and we're going to set up a ring, and by God, you're getting a beating. Isn't that right?
Yeah, I'd even tie my hands behind my back for the first 5 minutes.
Oh, I love that one.
Yeah.
I love that one. So let's get back to the fracking.
Yes.
So there's a big, I think there's an anti-fracking group in Fermanagh.
There is. There's so many groups within Northern Ireland. If you just search anti-fracking and Ireland or Northern Ireland or the UK, there are so many groups set up now that work on kind of individual areas, but also work as a whole kind of the UK and Europe and things like that. Like obviously the Balkan protest, that was amazing that they actually managed to stop it. I mean, if there's ever an advocate or an example, of how people can make a difference, Balkan is it. Balkan is it. So that's amazing. And like you've got the Fermanagh group, and they've actually got there's a talk there tonight in Enniskillen. I know it's a long way for anyone to go at short notice, but if anybody's got friends of friends or family that live in Enniskillen, it's at the Railway Hotel tonight at 7 p.m. in Enniskillen. Unfortunately, I can't make it. I'm gutted. But go along if you can and just listen. I think that's the thing. I just would very much like people to listen to what fracking is about, or look at this little video on YouTube and make a decision for themselves. If they think fracking is the way to go, brilliant. If they can tell me why they think it's the way to go and prove me wrong, I'm open to listening. I think that's the thing. The point is to make a debate, to talk about what's right for human consumption as well as the environment. I mean, this planet is amazing. It is. Brian Cox, a scientist, referred to it as the Goldilocks planet. Everything here was just right so life could exist. So it's an amazing thing. So we've got to look after it, and I think people don't realise that how fragile it is and things. So yeah. But sorry, I went off on a tangent there.
Yeah, no, not a bother. You're on the Banter show. That's what happens when you come into the Banter show. Let's get back to the earthquakes. Not only that, the amount of mines around the world. The Chilean miners not so long ago, they were trapped. The mine collapsed. Chinese miners. Now, when you think of the planet, all these mines around the whole planet are collapsing, and they're starting fracking. So there you go.
She ain't happy. The planet ain't happy, I tell you. But Mother Nature's going to kick back hard.
You know, when you think of it, so we've got our planet, and it's a globe, and there are pockets, with underground caves and all. When you start to fill them up with water, and our planet spins, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So what happens if it same as a car tire? You have lead weights on to balance your wheel so it won't vibrate. So, you know, what's going on there? So there's not much thinking goes on in this.
I just think it's been all about money more than the practicality of it all. It's expensive to set up the drills and things like that as well. And
that's it. The expense might outweigh what they reap. You know,
but then I suppose the energy companies are probably going, right, if they use something like, I'm a massive fan of tidal power or wave power. I don't know a lot about it, but for me that makes sense, because you can't guarantee the sun's going to shine, you can't guarantee there's going to be wind, but you can always guarantee that tides are going to come in and out. So to me that's a constant energy source there. Now I don't know how it would affect marine life or anything like that, but to me that seems like the most logical way to go. I completely forgot where I was going to go with that as well. We'll have down at Strangford, I think it's a Strangford Lock, isn't it? They have the tidal turbine, you know, the sea turbine. Yeah, those sorts of things.
And I think it's still working away.
Yeah. So that's, you know, the energy companies. How could they go, well, we're getting this energy out of something that's always there. How can they justify charging the same price? So that's probably their mentality. I'm guessing. I don't know. I'm guessing that's their mentality behind it. It's all speculation. But I was watching a thing this morning on. I was trying to brush up on my fracking and renewable sources of energy, not very well. If you put a tidal farm out off the coast of England, if you imagine this bit of paper is England, and they put a farm sort of that size, even smaller, off the coast of it, the energy from it would give electricity to every single house in the UK.
That's bizarre. Didn't think it was.
It's tiny. The farm would be tiny, and how much energy you get from it, because the tides are constant. I just can't get my head around it really.
So then maybe that's the way to go.
Apparently that's expensive. It's expensive to do tidal power because it's more expensive than all the others because of obviously if you put metal in the sea for too long, it starts to erode and things like that. So it needs constant maintenance, but. I just think that's. I mean, I would actually love to pay an electrical company for paying its staff and its equipment for getting that kind of energy.
To get it right.
for getting it right. But yeah, it's just, yeah.
Yeah. Well, then, you know, you were talking earlier about solar.
Yeah.
I know we don't get much sun here, but when we do, it's going to charge up your electricity, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then I think the way most of the energy companies work it, they buy the energy off you.
Yeah.
So you,
They do.
you
It goes into the local exchange, it's like one of those green boxes on the road, and they calculate how much electricity you're putting in. So you get your usage first, and then anything that you put back in, they pay you money.
So that's the way to go.
They pay you money for the electricity.
Yeah. I mean, every house should have a solar panel
At
on.
least one. At least one. I mean, well, I think you need more than one. My uncle's got a farm in the Isle of Wight, and he's got a few, and he can just about get a couple of showers out of it on a cloudy day. So yeah, I mean, we don't get a lot of sunshine here, but it's not just about looking at it here. It's about looking outwards to the rest of the world. I mean, for example, Dubai. This is going back a little while, so I don't know if this has changed. This is back in 2009. Dubai has more sunshine than most other places in the world, yet there wasn't a single solar panel there.
Why is that?
I mean, if you suddenly take, for example, I'm just looking at me solving the world problems right now. If you take Africa, Africa gets loads of sunshine. If you give somewhere like Kenya solar panels, and they've suddenly got energy that they can produce, they're suddenly making money and they're not a third world country anymore. Why are we not doing things like that? Look at me saving the world right now.
There you go.
The world, according to Diane, Jessie Miller.
I'm telling you now, we're going to send you to the UN. The UN, she's going to Brussels, and that's it. We're going to give you a loud hailer on a big stick. So the loud hailers will tell people what you think, and the stick is anybody steps out of line.
Yeah,
so there you are.
No, it's a peaceful protest. No.
Energy advisor for the UN. I like that one. That's a good one, isn't it?
God, I don't think I'd last very long. I think I'd probably get fired after about 10 minutes after speaking my mind.
Well, I mean, Cameron's going to get it, so...
yeah.
It'll be one of the only times that Cameron can't go to the UN meetings because you're there.
Yeah, but, as long as the stick's long enough to throw it in, it'll be fine.
Big spear.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't condone murder in any,
right.
in any sense. Or violence, really.
But you could make a film about it, so there's a new, you know, how to kill Cameron.
That's a good name for a film, Killing Cameron.
Killing Cameron.
Yeah. Not that I'm going to, I just want to reiterate that I'm not going to kill David Cameron.
With a fracking drill.
Yeah.
So you like
fracking.
fracking.
He copes being fracked.
Yeah. But, yeah, so were you in touch with the Fermanagh anti-fracking groups, or have you been in?
There's a few groups I've been in touch with, mainly because I'm trying to organise an event myself. Like, I am anti-fracking, and I don't know who to tell that I don't want the government to do this. So the only thing that I can think of or thought of was to take myself and a little placard, start at the bottom of Stormont, walk up and sit on the steps. So that's me wanting to do that. And then again, my best friend Paul Spence, he said to me, well, if it's only you, then at least you're doing what you can do. But how about asking other people to come with you? So I've set up an event called Get Your Feet on the Street and Move to the Beat.
Check this out now, friends. Check it out.
If you go on Facebook, those of you that are with Facebook, and search for Get Your Feet on the Street, or find me, Diane Jessie Miller, on Facebook, send me a private message and I'll send you the link for the event. And I don't want it to be, it's not an angry protest, it's literally just walking up Stormont with your placard going, I don't want you to frack. But the reason I've called it Get Your Feet on the Street and Move to the Beat is because music is such an important thing in this country, and it's infectious. So I have asked people that are musicians to come along so that we walk up Stormont and we sit there, we play a few tunes on the steps, and then we leave again. That's it. We just kind of make our point.
So it's a musical protest.
It's a musical, peaceful protest, yeah.
Anti-fracking anti-fracking protest going up to Stormont. When?
It's going to be the 2nd of August, Saturday. So I picked a Saturday.
A Saturday.
Because I knew most people would be free on a Saturday, and I picked a good time. So it's going to be 12 o'clock. We meet at midday. You meet at the bottom of Stormont. We walk up, which probably take about 20 minutes, and then we just sit on the step until, well, I'm thinking 4 o'clock, but I don't know if we'll be allowed to stay there that long.
Until we're thrown out.
Until we're thrown out. It is a peaceful protest.
Peaceful. So we're not allowed no rioting or throwing stones
no
or
rioting or kicking off or anything like that. If we're asked to leave, we well, we'll figure that out at the time.
We'll just shout boo.
Yeah. Oh, I think.
Boo.
Yeah,
Loads
there's
of
got to be
boos.
a way around that. I believe Stormont is a public building.
It's a public area.
Public area, so how can they move you? I need to work this out a bit more, those sorts of things. But it's more about getting people on the street, just to say that I don't want to frack. I don't want this to be allowed. I mean, it has already been banned. Germany set the way forward for so many things, and they've banned fracking, which I salute you, Germany. I might
Very good.
set up for a few people saying that, but amazing that they have.
Well, they're very efficient people, the
yeah,
Germans.
amazing that they've done
So
that.
they've banned fracking.
They've banned it.
I
They've
wonder why
banned
they've
it.
banned it. They've
Well-
seen something that they didn't like in it, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Ban it. And I would really like other people to join us now. I put this event up a couple of weeks ago, just on Facebook, and I'm going to shame my friends now. Out of the 1,000 friends that I have on Facebook, 3 of them are coming, and 1 of them's flying from England.
Wow.
So, and 1 of them's you.
And one of them's me.
Maybe there's 5 in total, actually, thinking about it, including yourself, me,
Yeah.
and a couple of others. I'm not going to say who they are. Yet, so many of my
So
friends
out of
are
1,000 friends, there's
4 people.
There's 4 people going,
Yeah.
come on, friends.
But
Come on.
out of other groups that have shared the event, there are other people coming from other groups, like from the anti-fracking island and the Fermanagh group. And
They're going. Some of them
people are
people.
going to come as well.
Good.
So far on the event, there's so many people that are invited, and so many people I've never met. And I think that's the other thing. If you get a group of people into a space that believe in the same things, then that causes momentum. To quote the graphic novel V for Vendetta, or the film V, the government should not be, the people should not be afraid of their people, the government, let me get this right, people should not be afraid of the government should be afraid of their people. That's not to say I want this protest to cause fear in the government or fear with anyone involved. What I would like is for the government to go, okay, people don't want this to happen. But there's so many little groups that are against it that I would like it to be one event where everybody comes together and just says, I don't agree with this. At the same time, if it's just me that walks up there that day, then it's just me that walks up there that day. But I wanted the government to know that I don't agree with this, and I would not sign on
Well, I'll be
board
with
it.
you anyway.
I know you are,
Let's see it.
thank you.
Now, let's try and get a good protest going here,
Yeah.
right? Gino Lynch, Q Feenan, all the dudes out there, maybe even get it filmed.
Well, yeah.
Gino, try and bring a camera,
That'd
or
be amazing.
Q,
I
or
think it's going to
Aidan
be.
Carroll, or anybody.
I think it would be amazing with.
That would be good now to get it
musicians.
filmed, and then to put your film up on Facebook later on, just to
Yeah.
show, here,
Yeah,
here's
absolutely.
who came to the event. You know,
Yeah.
this is what our event's about.
Yeah.
You know, and we don't want this fracking to even start here. End of story. So
No,
that's it.
You don't want it to. I mean, Loch Ness is the biggest. I think it's the second biggest freshwater lake in Europe. And what do they need? 2 million gallons of fresh water every time they frack. Every time they frack.
2 million gallons.
Every time they frack.
Where are they going to get that water?
Exactly. Loch Ness is going to be
Just-
dry within moments. So
That's not going to happen because Loch Ness, there's a big industry, fishing industry, everything there.
how's it
so-
not going to happen unless people get on the street
Yeah.
and say it? So
Yeah.
it's not going to happen. So
People surrounding Loch Ness.
yeah,
Let's go.
all the land around Loch Ness
Yeah.
that's free has been
All right, Sean.
being bought by energy companies already. So they've kind of got it in their hands. So it's not going to take long. I think the government are just waiting to see what people really think about it, and this is the opportunity to do it. And like I've said, it is going to be a peaceful protest. It's going to be about music and people coming together. So the other thing with the event is that I want people, I haven't put it on the group yet, but I want people to suggest songs. So it'll almost be like live karaoke. I know that sounds really rubbish, but if there are like 20 songs on Facebook that people go, I'd like us to do this, and you get a group of people singing those songs, that in itself is uplifting.
Or even get a group.
Yeah.
Couple of groups.
Yeah.
There's plenty of groups out there. They've been in the Banter show. You
Yeah.
know who you are.
But they have to be able to play acoustically.
Yeah,
they have to
acoustic,
be able
yeah.
to play acoustically.
That's another thing. What are the required instruments? Anything.
Oh, it can be a plastic cup with some dried peas on it, covered with an elastic band and a bit of paper. As long as it makes noise, it will make a tune. That's my theory, anyway. That's what I think. As long as I make noise, I can make a tune.
So there you go, budding musicians. Let's go for a protest of Stormont.
and just-
Anything. Just let's have a day out and protest against fracking. So how about that?
Yeah, absolutely. And I
Instead
mean-
of going down with you know, the bad, you know, because anybody who protests, you go in with,
With
a
yeah.
bad, angry head on you. Let's do a protest with a difference.
Yeah, I want it to be a positive event, like you said. Lots of people that protest. I've been to a couple of protests, and the energy is a very negative energy. Not always. It's kind of a mixture of both. There's some positive and some negative. Whereas this, I want it to be all about the positive, in that we're saying, no, we don't want this to happen. And look why, because look at how much beautiful music and how much amazing stuff there is in the world. We don't need that much.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I want to do.
Yeah.
If nobody wants to come with me, then fine. Other than you, because you're coming out, and my 4 other friends, or 3 other friends, and a few others that have said they're coming. But search on, get your feet on the street on Facebook for events, or it's a public event as well, so I've not made it private. Anyone can join. Invite other people to come along. I mean, it doesn't have to necessarily be adults. The reason I've done it on a Saturday is because if you've got kids and you want to bring them, it's going to affect your kids, so bring your kids along. Give them a tambourine and bring them along with you.
There you go.
It's a family, it's about family, about community. So bring a tambourine, bring like I said, a cup with some dried peas in it. Bring a guitar,
anything that'll make noise.
Bring a triangle. Bring anything that'll make
Kazoo.
noise. Yeah, all
Anything
of those
at all.
things. Like a little hand
Glockenspiel.
Anything that doesn't need to be plugged in, basically. Bring yourself.
Drums, anything at all. Long bag drums, anything.
Yeah, and
Borons, fiddles.
Yeah, everything like that, because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you believe, what your religious background is, what your political background is, what your ethnicity is, what your sexuality is, or any of those kind of things. This is going to affect everybody if it's allowed to happen in this country. It is going to affect. I just maybe it's a creative head of mine, but I think that if this is allowed to go on, it will destroy this planet. That's what I honestly believe.
That's what you honestly believe.
I honestly think it's going to destroy the planet.
Well, going on the evidence that you've looked up, and you've done your research. Let's face it, you are so passionate about this.
Yeah.
You know what the fracking's all about. You've just forgot your facts and figures just this morning. But, you know, we're not going into facts and figures, but the reality of it I'm talking about, you have gone into facts and figures, you've done your research, and a lot of research, haven't you?
Yeah.
And you've seen the danger that this fracking can do. And it is frightening. It is frightening.
It's really frightening.
You know, it's a hidden danger, because you don't know what they're bringing out of the ground, what type of gas they're bringing out of the ground.
I just think there's so many uncertainties with it that it's. I mean, coal. We all use coal, whether we know it or not. We all use coal. We know what coal does. We don't know what this does. It's not been done for long enough to know what the impact is going to be, and
as I was saying about the different gases, because there is different gases, and you know they might hit something that they shouldn't have hit.
This is one of the things. Now I'm probably going to get this wrong, so I apologise. Go and watch this thing on YouTube because it explains it. That one of the gases that comes out is methane. If methane is escaped, it's more dangerous than all that stuff you're talking about. CO2 is nothing compared to how dangerous methane.
Methane is seriously dangerous.
So it's
explosive for a start. It's explosive. It smells of rotten eggs. It's disgusting. That smell, you only get that smell for 7 seconds. It anaesthetises your sense of smell, and then you pass out. Now, when you pass out, then you die. So I know about methane. So methane's extremely dangerous.
I didn't know that. So that's amazing that you've.
So you can see you only smell it for between 4 and 7 seconds. So the first time you smell it, so then you count 1, 2, 3, 4. That's really disgusting. 5, 6, 7. Then you can't smell it. It's gone, because that's anaesthetises your sense of smell. After that, you're going to feel queasy, and then you're going to go down. You'll faint or something.
That's amazing. So. Us having this little conversation here, you've just taught me something about methane I didn't know. That's what I want this event to be about. If you don't know much about fracking, but you definitely don't think it's the right way to go, come and talk to people, because other people will know things that you don't know, and I don't for a minute say that I'm an expert on fracking, because I'm really not. I've read stuff, I've watched stuff, I've talked to people about it, but I would not say I'm an expert on it. I just know the basics, and like learning things like the methane thing and talking to people is the way forward. I mean, that is education in its purest form.
Yeah.
Learning directly from someone else. So.
Yeah. Well, I think we all have to be educated.
Yeah.
Now, at the minute, we're going on what we know.
Yeah.
Research-wise, we're going on what we know. It is frightening. I've seen the videos of people in America turning on their taps and putting a match to it, and the water is on fire because the gas is in the water. It's because they went through the water table. They've drilled right through the water table.
Yeah.
Then the gas has come up and went into the water table. You turn on your tap, and there's gas in it.
Yeah, and it's not just the gases, it's the chemicals as well.
The chemicals that they pump into it.
One of the things, my parents,
I don't get it.
Love my parents. I've been going on about this for ages, and sometimes I'm like a breaking record, I think. But my parents, especially my stepfather, has just got right on board with the anti-fracking, because, and this is, if that doesn't bother you, what we've told you, maybe this will. If you own your own house, right, imagine this is the foundations of the land that you own with your house upon it. If next to it, here, they want to drill, they can, but they want, there's gas under your house. They can now legally drill down so far and across and underneath your house. What? Because you only own that much land. They can drill under.
So they're directional drilling then?
Yeah.
They're
So they can drill
drilling
under the houses. So if you own your own house and you live near a pocket of gas that maybe the energy companies are looking at, you are screwed, because you don't have any rights at all.
And it's under your house.
Yeah.
So if you don't know about it,
Yeah.
you'll probably only know about it when it's too late.
Yeah.
Obviously, you'll get the earthquakes and what
That's
have
what
you.
happened in Blackpool. I mean, they drilled under the houses and they didn't know, and then they had earthquakes.
And you actually know fracking protesters in England, don't you? And I mean, this is driving your passion too, because you can see the damage that it's doing over there, and you're listening to what your friends are telling you.
Yeah.
And it is shocking, isn't it?
It is shocking, and I mean, I talked about Balkan before. Obviously, I was living here when Balkan was going on.
Can you just tell us about Balkan, just for our viewers?
I don't know loads about Balkan. When my best friend comes over, we'll get him on, because he could just talk about fracking till the cows come home. He knows so much. One of the biggest kind of guys in England that is anti-fracking is a guy called Ian R. Crane. He is kind of, I don't want to say at the top of the movement, because that sounds
it sounds
a bit rubbish, but he's the kind of the guy that everyone goes to for information at the moment, because he used to work for an oil company, so he knows about energies and things like that. So he was over here. In fact, the first time I learnt about fracking in detail and learnt about the Loch Ness stuff, he was over here doing a talk in Belfast, and a few of us went up. That was about 18 months ago, maybe slightly less than that. So Ian R. Crane, if you can't find me, look for Ian R. Crane. But Balcombe, they were going to put in a drill in Balcombe in the forest, and local residents were not happy, and they kind of, I believe, went, can anyone else help us? Ian R. Crane and a few others got involved and just had this, I think it was like a sit for about 6 weeks, if not longer. But if you couldn't go, there were people there that were there all the time.
Is this the one, sorry, breaking your word, is this the one that was on the television?
Yeah, this is the one that's
been on the news.
Yeah, and everything like that.
So, yeah.
And like, these people are so passionate about it. Some of them stayed there for weeks on end. Like, you get a new batch of people coming at the weekend, because they were obviously working during the week, but when they could, and stuff like that. And there was a real community set up, like with a kitchen being organised and people looking out for each other. And I like I said, I wasn't in England when that was going on, but I was quite fortunate in that when I went back a few weeks ago, my best friend Spencer took me down to Balcombe, and there were still people there. Like, they'd only gone there for the day, but they'd check in, and these people were travelling from all over to go, because Balcombe's near Brighton, so people travelling from everywhere to
go down to Brighton,
just to make sure that anything new hasn't happened or anything like that. And we were sat there having a picnic quite happily, and the police turned up and wanted to know what we were doing. We're like, we're having a picnic. Yeah, so it's still, you can just feel the animosity from the I don't want to say the police force, because I don't want to tarnish them, because I think that they do some amazing work, but it's like, why would you want to move these people along that are just...
Well, they do amazing work, but they also do what I would say
They take
it's
orders.
crazy sort of work that you know
take
for big
orders.
companies.
Yeah.
It's the same as the guards in the south of Ireland. Shell there's a big protest in the west, over in the west of Ireland. Shell to see there was a big massive pipeline, massive, on a ship. You want to see the size of the ship? It's
Yeah.
incredible, and they were going to start putting the big pipeline in through Cong, County Mayo. Beautiful. This area is just natural beauty, beautiful area. And the local residents were afraid, and the Gardaí ended up moving them on with battens, by the way, for Shell, the oil company. So, you know.
But there was a lot of kick up about that, wasn't there? Because Shell then couldn't have a petrol station in Ireland because they were boycotted by the residents of Ireland.
That's right.
And then Shell changed their name to Topaz.
Topaz, yeah.
And now nobody knows that in Southern Ireland. They're still using it. So, but again, that is the power of the person. By not using Shell, Shell had to do something to make people use their product again. And it's something as simple as change their name.
Because they've even made a film about this called The Pipe. The Pipe. And it shows you the Gardaí beating the people off the street who are protesting against the lorries coming in and all this, you know. So the police do work for big multinational companies, you know. They will, you know, that's what these companies claim they're there to create work and all. So that's how they get round these things, you know. But
it's amazing. Talking of Southern Ireland, just random thought popped into my head. I was watching a short talk. There's a website called TED, which does short talks about 15 minutes long on certain things, and there's a website set up called goodcountry.org, and it's basically they've done this whole kind of looking at the best, not the best, but the goodest. I know it's wrong English, but you have to watch this little 15-minute short about why it's called the goodest country in the world. And it's not measured on what they do in their country, it's measured about what they do out of their country, and the things that they do that impact the world in a positive way to make them a good country. And out of all the countries in the world, Ireland came first.
whoa,
Yeah.
big round of applause
Yeah,
there.
amazing. So go and have a look at goodcountry.org as well. That was really touching because I was just watching it, thinking, oh, this will be quite interesting. So when Ireland popped up, I was like, go Ireland, being the best country in the world, or the goodest country in the world.
The goodest country in the world. I like that one, the goodest. And this is the goodest talk show in the country, so there you go.
Yeah,
that's brilliant, Diane. You know, so I'm learning stuff every time me and Diane get together. We learn off each other, basically, don't we?
Yeah.
And it's always a good vibe, you know.
But that's what I think learning is. I mean, you can get stuff out of textbooks and classrooms, but I think that you learn more through conversation. I think, going off on a different tangent now, I think one of the biggest downfalls of, I can only say England, because that's where I was clearly raised, was moving houses from having kitchen dining rooms to not having a dining room space, because when you sat down for dinner, you sat around the dinner table, and that's when you had conversation. There was no telly, there was no phones, and that's where, like, I did most from my grandfather. Did loads of learning from my grandfather at the dinner table, and my mum did loads of learning, and that's where the learning happened. Whereas now, because we don't have dinner tables, where's all the learning happening?
Yeah.
So conversation is.
And it's lost that little bit of. I mean, I love my family time. It's rare when we all get together and we're all sitting around the table. And it's just when we're all sitting around the table, you kind of get it, you know.
Yeah.
You know, we're all here. This is great.
Yeah. Most people do it one day a year. It's Christmas.
Yeah. Yeah.
In fact, I want to start a new campaign. Bring back the dining table.
Get the dining table back there. We're going to take this table with us today. We're going to make a dining table.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I've got the dining table, so I'm not too bad in my house, you know. And I still like to eat in the kitchen, old style, you know. But as I said, it's really good and special when you get your family and friends round, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know.
I mean, I don't see my family very often now. I see them maybe once or twice a year. So it's an amazing thing to sit at a dinner table and just talk and laugh as well. I think that's where I think some of the best ideas come from, sitting around a table and talking. I mean, we've talked about so many things already today, things that I didn't know, things that you didn't know.
We've even talked at the table.
Before we came in, we had tea and toast before we came in.
And not even that, the things that we talked about, we haven't even talked about them in here.
No.
Because we're just keeping rambling on, you know. But it's really good. It's always good. It's great to have you in the studio as always, and you're always welcome here. Because filmmaker, you know, the list goes on with you. Singer, songwriter, you're everything. You're doing everything.
Jack of all trades, master of life.
Master of life.
I think it's.
So listen, friends. Give us that date again for the
It's the 2nd of August.
2nd of August.
And midday.
Midday, it's Saturday. It's a midday.
At the bottom of Stormont where the gates are. So I believe there's a hotel. There's a Stormont Hotel.
The Stormont Hotel there,
park
yeah.
your car there, I'm sure. We
Yeah.
have a cup of tea and then join us. But yeah, and if join the event page, because I'm going up, you're going up, a few other people. If there's somebody that wants to go that doesn't have the means to get there, then I'll even look at organising lifts and things like that if that helps, because it's more important that people get there and are there on the street than wishing they'd gone.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and that's what happens. It's always after the event, people say, I should have went to it, you know. And it's the same. So, bands want bands. People, if you've never played an instrument, just bring an instrument, make a bit of noise out of it.
Yeah, I mean, if you could join the event page, which again is Get Your Feet on the Street, or private message me, Diane Jessie Miller on Facebook, and I'll send the link to you.
Or are you on Twitter?
I am, but I'm a bit rubbish on Twitter.
Give them the link anyway, so just in case there's people out there.
Oh, okay, if you want to tweet me at Diane J Miller, saying anti-fracking protest, and I'll send you the event back.
There you go.
Easy.
Yeah.
Hadn't thought about that. I'm a bit rubbish on Twitter. Maybe I should get better at it.
Yeah, get better at it, because Twitter's a big one.
Yeah, absolutely.
And especially for your business, for filmmaking, Twitter's big.
I know.
Twitter's very big, you know.
I've just always struggled with it. I don't know why. It's because I've got nothing interesting to say. Why should I say it now? So it always takes me ages to think of anything. So just, and also I want to put a list of songs up there. So if you've got any suggestions for songs like that we could sing, they can be upbeat, happy ones, or they can be. I love Buffalo to Springfield for what it's worth. That's like a 60s protest song, and I love it. Anything like that, any songs that you think might be good to be sung as a group, or. And even if you don't have an instrument, you've got a voice, and I don't care if you can't sing a note, if you haven't got a note in your head. It's not about that, it's about having your voice there. And just bring a thermos of tea, a blanket, or
there
a
you
towel
go.
to sit
We're going to
on.
have a picnic.
Yeah, why not? Let's make it a picnic.
And a jam.
A jam and a picnic.
There you go.
There we go, changed it.
Sorted. It's not a protest now, it's a jam and a protest and a picnic all in one.
And don't forget your banner as well. Obviously, I don't want to believe in fracking or.
Yeah, we can even make banners on site.
Yeah.
On site.
Oh,
We'll bring a
that's
bit of cardboard.
Bring cardboard,
few
some
sticks,
paint, lovely. Job
bit of
done,
masking tape.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
duct tape. Anybody in the music industry, bring your duct tape, because everybody in the music industry has duct tape.
And anyone in the film industry has gaffer tape.
Gaffer tape.
Yeah, one of the others.
Yeah. So it's going to be a big day. Anti-frackers in Fermanagh, anti-frackers all around Ireland and England. If you're coming to Ireland from England, you're going to be made very welcome.
Yeah.
It'll be a day out. It'll be a day out in the 2nd of
And it'll
August.
be fun. It'll be fun. And I know the sun's going to shine. I know it sounds weird, but I just know the sun's going to shine on us. And I think it would be an amazing thing to be part of. I think whenever you've been kind of part of something that you believe in, that is a passion in itself, and you feel good about that.
What about getting a petition and hand the petition into Stormont while we're there?
I hadn't thought about that. I don't know about petitions, but I suppose I could look at that a bit more and see.
Well, just get a.
You can do an online petition and things like that.
You can do an online one, even a couple of sheets A4, and just we disagree with fracking and blah blah blah, and have all the signatures and.
It's a really good idea, and walk that up to Stormont.
Walk right up to Stormont and hand it in.
It's a good idea.
Hand it in. Not only that, let's get on to some of the MLAs who are up at Stormont and see will somebody take the petition off us.
Yeah.
What about that?
That's a good idea too. You and I need to talk more about this.
I'm telling you, we're doing it. We're going to do it because you get on to me.
We sat and had a coffee and chatted about it and went, do you know, we've got to do something about this, and that's kind of where it all came from.
That's a while ago now, isn't it? That's a long time ago. It's not just months ago now.
Yeah.
So at least this is the lady. She's doing something. She's planning it. She's already got a plan to August the 2nd at 12 o'clock at the bottom of Stormont.
Yeah, and I'm open for ideas. People go, I think this would be a good idea. Let's do it. It's about coming together and...
Even if you want to dress up in fancy dress.
Oh, amazing. I love fancy dress. There is no excuse. I don't need an excuse for fancy dress. I've got a pirate's outfit. I shouldn't tell you what outfits I've got in the
there you
wardrobe.
go.
It's a bit weird. Yeah, absolutely.
Props, by the way. They're props.
Yes.
That's a tenner humour. So, friends... We're just going to, we're getting our time out from our studio manager there, but it's been another interesting, I always enjoy our conversations here in the Banter Show. You're a great girl, I have to say, and let's get this on, let's get it on. Well, it's done.
Yeah.
So friends, Anybody who's, if you're at a loose end the 2nd of August, come up to Belfast. We're going to have a bit of crack.
Even if you're not at a loose end, make it, put a date in a diary and be there.
Yeah, just be there.
And like we said, it's open to everybody. Not
All
just
actors,
adults.
all my actor friends, I
Yeah.
want yous involved. All my friends, musical friends, all around the place, because this fracking affects everybody. So let's get involved. Let's do something positive. Let's have a day out and a picnic and a jam.
Yes.
And a protest.
Sounds amazing. Sounds
Musical
amazing.
protest.
Love it. It's a
A
way
musical
forward.
protest.
It's a way forward.
We'll even try and get a jingle together, will we?
Nice.
We'll try and organise some
Well,
jingle.
there's bands out there. I mean, write a song about anti-fracking, and then teach it to us all.
The Tanglewooders, everybody that's been at Tanglewood, come on, let's get
Yeah.
this. I'm sure they'd like to get involved. You know.
I'll speak to the guys
I'm
and
sure.
see if they
Big
can.
Marty and Mortar, all the promoters around the place. Let's make this a big day, friends. Let's make it a big
Yeah.
day. We can be down and we can be up to Belfast and back here within 2 hours.
Yeah. Well,
So,
yeah. I mean,
you know.
if we leave at 11, we'd still be there for 12 to the protest. If
Yeah.
anyone needs to leave early, they can. I'd like to stay till 4, I think. That's
Yeah.
what I've got. Because I kind of thought 12 till 4 is kind of the middle of the day, and I mean, other than shopping, what else is there to really do?
Yeah, and I don't shop, so hey.
Yeah. No excuses. No excuses.
No excuses. It's the big musical protest and it's going to happen. End of story. So all bands, let's get in touch. Come in for the banter even. You know,
Yeah.
let's an anti-fracking banter. Anybody wants to come in, you're more than welcome. Or if people that know about the positive side of fracking, come in.
Yeah. If someone.
But we'll throw you out, but come in anyway. But anyway, listen, it's been a blast and it's great to talk to you all again.
Thank you very much.
And my girl here,
Thank you.
I think we'll go and get a coffee now, will
I
we?
think that's a good idea.
Yeah,
For sure.
I think we'll go and get a coffee. So, a big shout out to all our friends, America, Australia, Russia, all across the world. And if there's anybody in Russia knows about fracking, let me know.
Yeah.
Because I don't know whether...
I don't know that one either.
There's a good one.
Yeah.
So, anybody in the USSR, let me know if you know anything about fracking. So, at the minute, from me and Diane, Jessie Miller, we're out of here. Give us a razor. Razor.
Mission Banter.